Hello, people. Good evening. Welcome to Toby YouTube channel. If you are hearing me and I'm audible enough and you're live with me, please leave a comment. Let me know that I am not alone. Can you leave a comment if you can hear me? Okay, thank you very much. So let's wait for a few more people to join us, okay? Please register your attendance if you're on the channel. I can see we have 4 people in now. Please let me see you. Let me see your comments. Let me know who is with me on the channel this evening. You're welcome. You're welcome. Please, we have 10 minutes to get everyone inside before we kickstart for the evening. So please, you can help me share with your friends, with your family to come on live. Ikeolua Toby is live. And today we are going to be having a very relatable conversation. We are going to be bringing our day-to-day life into perspective, and we're going to be discussing about it, basically how we can manage our career and our life and ensure that we have it put together. So if you are just, and I am excited to be doing this with you. I am glad that you're a part of at my last webinar on maximizing the paycheck. Leave a comment. Let me know if you're a returning member of the family. If you're just joining us on our live webinar for the first time, you can also leave a comment. Let me get familiarized with the family. You're welcome. You're welcome. We are waiting for more people to join us on the channel before our guest comes in. Hello, welcome to Ikeolua Toby YouTube channel. If you're just joining me, Ikeolua Toby is an HR practitioner, and I am passionate about having a balanced work life. Basically, I'm passionate about the career space. I am passionate about employees having the most of their time as employees, knowing fully well that employees are the basic capital assets for every organization. Employees are the brain behind every success of every organization. So I am so passionate about those who are the driving force behind most of them, their life, their personal life lacks. They don't really enjoy it. They only do it for the paycheck. And this is why, as an HR, I am most passionate about the workforce, about the employees. How do I help employees? What is going on with you in your personal life beyond the job? Part of the reasons why I am usually fueled as to how can I help employees have the most amazing time in their personal life beyond the job. The most interesting experience in every organizations they find themselves. And that is what culminated into speak to our life realities, speak to our challenges, the career space and our personal lives. How are we actually enjoying it? We realize that most of us take the because if I don't do it, how will I survive? So first for the bills, secondly for the when you get to a certain stage in your life, you are supposed to start working. My point this evening, should it actually be the place where so many people believe that until you become an entrepreneur. Of course, I am not against business, but I believe that even as an entrepreneur, you are fulfilling purpose, you are fulfilling destiny, and you should be able to balance. It is not until when you have a full-time business of yourself, or you are self-employed, before you can maximize your career life and then get fulfilled as I mean on your family. I'm going to be coming on board with a senior colleague of mine. She has been a source of influence. She's an and of course she's fulfilling her potentials in all of this. So once again, you're welcome on the channel. If you are new here, please subscribe, very important. If you are subscription button before with everyone on the call this, please just a moment, we'll join you shortly. Okay. Okay, so my guest is ready for us. Like I said, Mrs. Oladayo Asifat is a silent influence. Before I bring her on the channel, she's a silent influence to me. And um, funny enough, I've only met with her physically once, and we've known each other since 2019. Yes, I think not even 2019, I think 2018. That's about 7 years ago. I've met her only once, but she has been in my corner, and she has been that silent influence that inspires my career journey. And I see how she has strived. I've followed her through, seasons as an employee, as an entrepreneur. She's also an entrepreneur, as a family woman, and she silently influenced me. And she was one of, I think I met her basically at the point when I was just starting to, this career pace. I didn't even know what I want for myself. And we had that brief conversation. I think I was on, yes, I was not, I think I was on a job hunt and I met her. She was the HR then, and at that particular organization. And we had this conversation. She inspired, she was part of those that inspired this journey with me. So not to keep her waiting, back end, I'm going to be bringing her on stage now. And please welcome with me Mrs. Oladayo Asifat. She's a renowned HR professional, and she's going to be diving into our journey with us on how she's been able to balance a career life and a personal life. And I hope that we're going to have an amazing time with her.
Hi, good
Hi,
afternoon,
Mrs.
everyone.
Oladayo. Good evening. Good evening from
Good
here. She's in another region, basically. So yeah, good evening
afternoon.
from
It's
here, ma.
okay. Whatever zone, you can see I have another guest with me
So
sitting.
thank you so much for joining. Please, am I audible to you? The
Yes,
network
although
is
I think the network is breaking, but
so
don't mind my
okay.
other
All right.
guest. I have another guest because I'm home
Right.
today, and she's my side guest at
Please, can
this
somebody
moment.
confirm you can hear Mrs. Oladayo on the channel? I am unable to hear you clearly.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Can you hear me now from your hand?
The
Because I can
network
hear you.
keeps fluctuating. Please, I need one of the
Can you hear me? Because it seems like I'm the only one here right now. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you clearly now. I think it's
Awesome.
better now.
Okay, that's good.
Okay, yeah.
All right, you
Good
can go
evening, Ma.
ahead.
You're welcome. All
Good
right.
evening. How are
Thank you
you?
very much. I'm very well, thank you. I appreciate you coming on board with me this evening. I know it's
No
really tight.
problem.
You just got back from church, like you said, but thank you so much. We really appreciate. So
No
I'll
problem.
just get straight into it so that we can wrap up as soon as possible. Like we know, our discussion this evening is about managing career and family life in this fast-paced world. And obviously you are in another region that is even far, in that is vaster than where we are presently in Nigeria. Majorly, my audience are, in Africa and we are in Nigeria. And I just wanted to bring an insight to how, life is right there, because Nigeria is also, we are getting into that space where technology is making us really go, faster than we think. And if employees are unable to keep up, and especially in the corporate world, it's sort of a lot of mediocrity is going on presently in the African world. Everybody's just trying to juggle it, and there's no balance anywhere, to be very honest. And I just wanted to have that conversation, especially for employees. And like before you came on board, I was saying that one of my drive to HR was the first time I met you, and that's the only time we've actually met physically. But you've been silently influencing my world on the cyberspace and all of that. Followed you through your progressions from your HR even into your entrepreneurship, and we are going to actually get there this evening. How you are juggling it together with your entrepreneurship life, and then there's still your family there. And of course, I know that you are thriving in all of these aspects. So, but then before I get into the full discussion, I would like you to tell us about it. Just introduce us into that part of your life that you would like us to know about. And the floor is yours, Ma.
Thank you so much. It's a privilege to be part of the this conversation. Sorry, you might be hearing sounds. I have the another guest in my side right now, so she can show up at any time to this conversation.
It's fine. It's
Um,
okay.
so my name is Oladayo Shifat, and like you mentioned earlier, I'm in the HR space. Um, I'm in the HR space. I'm also in the entrepreneurship space as well. Um, like you mentioned as well, I'm also a wife and a mom. So this is like the whole embodiment of who I am. I've been in HR for the past 14 years, if I'm not wrong. And I've been able to carve a niche for myself within the labor relations and employee relations space as well. Being able to carve a niche for myself within the baking entrepreneur space as well. So that's typically my life and who I am. Um, I have a daughter and I am married. Yeah, so that's basically my journey so far.
All right. So thank you. Thank you so much for that introduction. All right. So yes, that will take me into my first question or discussion. It is about what's your biggest motivation for pursuing both a successful career and a family life is. And I would like to expatiate on that. Recently I realized that a lot of employees, we go into the career world, especially when you are not an entrepreneur or a owner, so to say. And the fulfillment we get from being an employee is minute compared to people who feel, oh, I mean, it's just, so small compared to people who own a business. The fulfillment feels like if you're an employee, then you are not really there. I believe you get what I mean. Until you know you now start something of your own, and it sort of make people just get into the workspace and they are just doing it for in order to be able to you know build a I mean, have something to pay their bills. That's the word, especially in Africa, right? We have this mindset that, well, it's just because of the bills. You see so many things now in this current world where content go here and there. People are going to work all because they are waiting for paycheck at the end of the month, and that fulfillment is really not there. So for you, how have you been able to actually stay through? Like 14 years is no joke. I'm sure that there must been times where you are like, do I also really want to continue this salary work, and you are still thriving in it, and but on the way, on the side, your entrepreneurship life you know got better, and all of that. So I just wanted you to tell us the motivation and how you're able to pull through all of those pressures that comes along being an employee up until where you are right now. And yeah, that's it, ma.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. The truth is, I don't think it's only in Africa that the all not focusing on passion is because everybody needs to pay a bill. It's not just in Africa, it's everywhere. Everywhere you find an employee, you will find it there. Um, so for me, I would say I didn't start my journey as an HR person because I didn't study HR in school. Not until recently that I went back to school to study HR for this um North America, for this space that I'm in. I started my journey for my education as someone who is in the science space, someone who is in science space. I studied microbiology in school, but from the first job I ever got, it was about HR. It was about people management. It was about people management. It wasn't the so I knew from the beginning that I wasn't in that headspace of being a microbiologist. Actually, that is what I studied in school, but I wasn't going to do that as a career. When I finished from school, my first job was based on administration, and from there, the stuff I did, I was able to do a lot with people management, employee relations, and I knew this is something I would want to venture into. Now, HR is not a job for me. It's a work, and I'm passionate about it. In the fact that managing people, doing all that I do as an HR is something I am passionate about. I'm not just doing it for the pay. Of course, the pay is good. Everybody loves increments. Everybody loves to be paid for what they've been able to develop in themselves. Of course, we all want that, but most importantly, it's a passion for me. I love managing people. I love managing um employee. I love engaging them, and it's something that I'm passionate about. Now, being an entrepreneur, my entrepreneurial journey started, I think, fully in 2016. Um, I've always been hands-on naturally. Like from secondary school, I could be a cobbler today, I could be a tailor tomorrow, I could be anything you want me to be. Like I will make soap, I will make insecticide, I will make anything. Like I was that hands-on from a young age. But baking was something that stood out in all of the things that I've learned over the years. So I decided I was going to set up a proper business, register it, and do the necessary things. Now, if you're not a passionate person as an employee, you can't be a passionate entrepreneur because what you don't have, you cannot give. The truth is the way you treat other people's jobs, the way you treat other people's possession is the way you're going to treat yours, either you know it or not, is the way you're going to treat yourself. Being an entrepreneur is also, it was a call for me. It wasn't more like something that I just wanted to dabble into. It was a call for me that I could start my own thing. I could run it in a way that would be different from what every other person does. And there were distinguishing factors of what I do as a baker. Yes, as a wife and a mother, I have the role to play, um, and as a mother, most importantly, these are not the kind of job description you can post on LinkedIn. They are the kind
Right.
of job that is they are not the kind of job details that you share every day. Like they are not paid for, they are not hourly, they are not something that has a time bound or something.
So there's
It's
no
not that
KPI
way.
to it.
There is no KPI. Like well, there is a KPI. There is a
Right.
KPI to
So,
it because at the end of the day, posterity
yes.
is your KPI.
Yes. Right.
So you being able to train them up in the right way and bringing them up according to the way of the Lord, and
Hmm.
teaching them the necessary skills that they also need to learn. It's part of, and they get into that age in life
Hmm.
where those things will speak for themselves. Those are your KPIs at the end of the day,
Mm-hmm.
anyway.
Right. Yeah. Right.
So, like I said, that's just the embodiment of who I am: a mother, a wife, an entrepreneur, an HR leader. That is just who I am. Being able to juggle it, I would say it's by the grace of God, but most importantly, um, I know that I've been able to focus on time management as much as possible. Number one,
Mm.
what are the crises? What are the things that might be like emergencies, crises, like the things that are important, the things that are urgent that I need to deal with? I focus on those ones first. What are the things that are important and not urgent? I need to also focus on them to be sure that I'm doing them. They are the planning, they are the progressions of things. Like I'm a very, very involved person. Like in anything, I'm very, very involved. If I'm doing baking, I'm very involved. I give my 100% to everything. Like there is no 80 year 20. I give my 100% to everything. That is who I
Thank you so much, Ma. Okay. So I wanted to know. So I know that the workplace comes with different pressures because, of course, we find ourselves in different places where our cultures differ as much as even. So bringing it down to Africa, we know that we have this general, work culture in Nigeria per se, and but then the organizations you belong to now streamlines it. The kind of culture that is obtainable here is what is not obtainable, is not obtainable in another place, and all of that. But have you found yourself in places where you are able to identify the common challenges that employees face in different spaces. So, say maybe I work in as an HR. I'm in the HR industry. I'm in the banking sector. I'm in the engineering sector. What are the common challenges you can put together and share with us? That these are what is most common for employees, and then how do you think that they can get better and manage those kind of pressures and challenges?
am. So like I mentioned earlier, when it comes to employee are the same everywhere, actually. Either in Africa, either in North America, either in Asia, employees are always employees everywhere. Like they're gonna develop new things. They're gonna develop things that are acceptable, things that are not acceptable. Employees will always be employees. Um, so culture of the organization would determine what is acceptable or not. Culture of the organization also would determine if you make room for anything, you accommodate a particular excesses of employees or not. In in this in this climb, I would say one of the good things for employees most of the time for unionized environment, for example, is the fact that they have a union that speaks for them, a union that deals with issues for them, a union that you know work on an agreement with the employer on their behalf. So they are kind of protected a lot compared to Africa and all that. Of course, there are organizations that were also unionized in Africa, the likes of Unilever, the likes of PZ, GSK. They had a lot of unionized employees. So the same thing goes here, and their unions do a lot to get them the best propositions from the employers. So to bring me to your real question, your question was about what they can do to work. Ike, can you repeat the question? Hello, can you repeat the question?
Your network is breaking. I can hardly hear you.
I hear you perfectly well. Can you hear me?
Okay,
Hello,
so
Ike.
the question is, my network is unstable. I'm so sorry. So please, can you hear me clearly now, ma?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so I'm saying that, okay, so I should repeat the question. What are the most common challenges you've seen professionals, across industries face in managing both their career and their personal life?
I would say the first concern is based on time management. There are times that employees could not plan their own school runs and all that appropriately, and then it ends up impacting their job. So, for let me give you an example of if if an employee has a child care support, someone who takes care of their children while they are at work. If the person decides to leave, of course the person is not going to leave
Mm,
abruptly. The person is going to give you a notice that, oh, I might be going back home in the next 2 months, in the next 3 months. Now, if the employee decide not to make any plans towards the exit of the person for that period of time, it can impact their job in the way that they will not have childcare, and then they will need to be showing up late to work or not even showing up at all because they needed to take care of their children. Now, so
mm,
time management is one of the big issues I think that people face as employees, and then supporting partners, supporting people. In Africa, what do we say? We say that a child is raised by a village, a whole community raises the child. If you're not available, your mom is available, your sister is available. But in times like this, sometimes you do not have all that support. But you could get friends, you could get people of like mind that you can come together to say, oh, if we are
mm,
having this kind of concern, you can take care of the children today, while the rest of us focus on this. The other person will be the one in charge of the children tomorrow, and then you all take turns that way. So, having the right support, I've been able to focus on time management and also, know yourself. If you're not a morning person, don't go and be looking for a job that will ask you to resume at 6 a.m. in the morning. Focus on something that will be nocturnal.
mm,
Maybe the kind of job that will say, oh, it's a night shift, come at 8, come at 7, and then you know that you are sleeping all through the day. So know yourself and know the kind of things that you can do.
Okay. So the last part got me laughing because I wish we have that autonomy here in Nigeria, right? Most of our job have their own. You cannot choose. You really cannot choose. This is our time schedule. This is how we work here, and then you have to, whether you're a morning person or not, you have to eat the road by 4 a.m. if you have to get to work by 8 a.m. Right?
You
So
know
we
that
really do not
that
have that
that's
autonomy
funny.
here.
That's funny because
You said?
actually, I said it's actually not that straight jacketed in Nigeria as well. I think there are jobs that you can take that gives you that kind of
I can hardly. Oh,
opportunity.
yes, right.
Can you hear me?
It's
Can you hear me
breaking
now?
on my end. I think is my. Yes, I'm trying. I'm hearing you.
Yeah. So I'm saying that I think even Nigeria is not that cast in stone. There are organizations that still give room for you to do stuff like that. Like if you're working for an organization that is in US, for example, they can be using the US time to get the job done. So the US time to Nigerian time can be like, oh, your job starts at 2 p.m. in the afternoon, and then you work till maybe 11 p.m. or 10 p.m. at night just to cover the 8 hours of the whole program. So it depends. Nigeria also has those kind of flexibility. You just have to look for what you want.
Right. I'm so sorry. My network is so unstable, but I'm sure you are very clear. I can get the feedback that we can hear you clearly. I think it's just my end here. Okay, Ma, thank you so much. But I know that a lot of flexibility have even come into the African space, especially, of course, Nigeria as our case study since after COVID, right? So I'm sure that we are getting better. However, it still cannot be compared to what the work life looks like on the other end, and the countries that are way ahead of us. So I'll go to asking again that you have mentioned about time management, and a lot of times when we listen to webinars like this, everybody will tell you, know your time, know how to manage your time and all of that. But really, when we bring it to life reality, hmm, that time management is something that we really need to
I don't know if you all can hear me. I was thinking maybe I could just continue presenting. while it takes time to return.
Please, you can continue, ma. My network is just so unstable. Oh. Hi, everyone. Am I audible again? Hi, everyone. Apologies for the network disorder, please. I'm waiting for her to reconnect again. But I hope you are going along with us as the conversation is going. She's been able to share. For those of us just joining, you're welcome. She's been able to share with us her journey in the corporate world and as an entrepreneur. She's also a baker, a thriving one at that, and she's based in Canada, basically. So, and we're just trying to know how, sharing from my experience, how is she able to manage the pressures from the as being an employee, managing the pressure that comes with being an employee and being a family person, especially for, young, thriving family man and family woman that most of us on the call are.
Okay.
Okay, you're welcome back, ma. I hope I get stability now. So I'm saying that you can please go on.
Yeah, you can go ahead with the questions. Unfortunately, my presentation is not presenting, so you can go ahead with the questions.
Okay, ma. So
Can you
I
hear me?
I mentioned that I was asking earlier. I don't know if they got the response, and I was asking that for young professionals, that is, how can they manage the challenges that comes with being an employee and then balancing their home life? Is it really even achievable that you can have a thriving career and your home will not lack, or your home will be thriving and your career will not lack? Is it even really achievable?
Yes, I will tell you that it's achievable. We have examples of industry leaders, either as a woman or as a man. We especially as a woman, because I would focus more on women this time around. We have industry leaders, we have the likes of Ibuka Woshika, we have the likes of Olala Kija, we have the likes of great women in both family and also in their personal career life that are thriving. We have the likes of Funke Adenowo, a lot of them.
Mhm.
So And I know that growing up, we do not see women that do this kind of thing together. I know that growing up, we hear things. We see women that eat while standing. We see women who has no break, no time to rest, no time to take a breath. But these days, you can get those things done. There is nothing wrong in you leaving things messy for a day. You will get to it.
Wow.
Not
Thank you.
nobody is going to die. You are going to get to it.
Yes.
Nobody's going to die. And I can tell you that there are times that you don't need to follow the schedule. You don't need to follow the food plan. Get out of the box sometimes. Don't make everything so stringent and then overwork yourself. At the end of the day, you're looking older than your husband, for example. You're not resting well. You're the one. You're the CEO of the home. You're the CEO of your job. You are everything. You are everywhere, especially people who are who are compliant like me, people who wants to see everything to be done like me. Like sometimes I had to teach myself that you can get support system. You can, reach out to friends, and yeah, you're in a space that you really get those kind of things. But I've created a community for myself intentionally. I've created a community intentionally to ensure that I'm not just hanging by a thread. I'm able to get support as much as possible. So in it's very good that we give our 100% on the job, our 100% as an entrepreneur, our 100% to the family. But sometimes let things crumble. Just sit and watch. It could be a learning curve for everybody that we need to reschedule or rearrange things or realign things. There are times that we just need to let things be messy. Let everywhere scatter. Let the sitting room, let visitors come to your home and see everywhere scattered. It is fine. It is fine. It is part of the life. It is part of the jobbing. Sometimes the balls drop. Let them drop. So it is possible for us to juggle these three aspects of our lives. But most importantly, we need to understand that maximize the community around you, maximize the support you get, maximize every opportunity that you get, and also pay attention to the things that you do not need to take up. It's not every job I need to take as an entrepreneur. It's not every job I need
Thank
to
you.
take. I need to take as an employee. You need to understand the ones that you need to delegate. You need to understand the ones that you need to own.
Say no.
Know the exactly. There are things that you need to own, that it is yours. It is your baby. But at the end of the day, you need to learn to say, to have a radical candor, to say no when it is necessary. All right.
Right. Thank you so much, Ma. When you said learn to leave things, learn to allow things be messy. Before now, when I just got married, I'm always like, how can my house be this? How can my house be that? How can this is this? The reality now is that sometimes let it be that, let it be this. We will be all right.
Yeah,
We will all be fine.
you will be
So
all
and that doesn't make room to say that, oh, there won't be balance. But there are times that I can't take visitors this season. I can't take it because I cannot come and kill myself. You don't have to, that's just one thing I'm learning on this motherhood, part of my life that is just, coming to play. Like, you don't have to. Those season will come that you know that, I cannot take visitors now. The house is the way it is. And it's okay to be honest. So okay,
right.
that's just on the side. um So I'm going into social expectations and gender roles. I like the fact that, of course, this live stream is for everybody, both male and female. But then we cannot take away the fact that we are women and we have to talk about it the way it is, as regards our own reality, right? So have there been points where you feel like um you want to give up on one for the other? Were you at that point at any stage? And if no, if there's anyone that you think that might be at that point, you have one or two things to share with them. Because the societal expectation that comes with career women, sorry, before you go ahead, ma, that comes with career women, a lot of people feel like you are going to fail as a mother or as a wife if you hold your career so dear, or if you hold your business so dear, just as the way you hold your home. So I wanted to know, have you been at that position where you feel like, okay, maybe I should just take, let it down, not pursue for so much, let me just be the regular, have a job, get job, and not strive, to be better at what you're doing? And did you at any point go through that? And if you not, what would you say to anyone going through that presently?
Okay, thank you so much, because sometimes maybe I'm not the best person to answer that question because I'm a choleric by temperament. And because
Mm.
I'm choleric, I'm also the other side of me is like a melancholy in the sense that I'm a perfectionist. I always want to get everything right. I always want to put everything right and all that. I don't think I've ever had such experience or such time that I thought to myself that I want to give up one thing for the other. But I know that there was a time in my life that I decided I was going to give up a paid employment to focus on entrepreneurship. That aside, um, I know recently one of the things I've considered recently is that maybe I should change my career or get a lecturing job so that I can focus. I'm very passionate about children. I am very passionate about raising children in a godly way, putting the right values, especially the values that I had growing up, putting it in them. I know that there was a time recently, even recent until recently this year, that I thought about that. Should I switch my career, go into teaching for a period of time that will afford me enough time, to take care of my children, to take care of my family, to, put the right values into them. But the truth is, there is nothing wrong in making such decision. I've known great women that made such decisions at some points in their lives that they needed to stay with the family and leave the career space for now to focus on raising the children, especially if they have a very, very active partner that is very busy and um, focusing on the career front. So it depends on the conversation you want to have with your partner. If one of you wants to take some reset and stay back to take care of the children, it's a decision that you both want to make together. Um, Another thing is that I I am very particular about my children meeting excellence in my hands. I want them to see me being excellent. I want them to see me being able to juggle everything. I want them to see me being able to have capacity to do all that I do. I want them to be proud about the fact that, oh, my mom is this. I want to take a leaf from our experience. So I don't want to be that kind of person that is, it's just me. It's me. It's not a generic thing, and it's not a template. It's nothing cast in stone that you have to do that for your children. I'm just saying that that is one legacy I want to give and pass on to my children, to see excellence in my work, to see excellence and see how I'm being excellent in everything that I do. So if you are at that point in your life that you are, rethinking the old thing you've ever believed that you want to do this, I would say pray and trust God for the clarity on your next steps. Let's that decision not be something you're making out of out of an instance or a sniff. make that decision, make an informed decision, gather your thoughts, gather your, yeah, your family together and make that decision together. Because it's good that you want to, take a step back, or you want to leave one aspect of your life for the other, depending on what your reasons are. But the truth is, at the end of the day, if, for example, if that aspect you want to leave for a while is your career or your job, you want to consider the impact to yourself, the impact to your family, the impact to your finance. What's it gonna be for you? Draw out a proper plan. Don't The Bible says that you see a man that wants to build a house, he's gonna sit and plan, make a proper plan on what he wants to do. So draw out a proper plan. Don't let any part of it be lagging to the point that that part will be the reason why you become depressed. So draw out a proper plan and decide based on the plan and the help of God.
Okay. Thank you so much, Ma. So we are rounding up shortly, but then before I go, I think I have two more questions. Now this is about boundaries. How do you set boundaries from between your job and your life and your personal life? As an HR, and you know that of course practicing here, there are a lot of demands, and our work culture at times can be a bit just jaga jaga at times. A boss can just reach out to you at 10 p.m. and expect your response at 10:01, right? And those are the things we experience in our kind of work culture here. So how do you advise us to, I think one of my boundaries at work, like just to give an example, is that if it's not an emergency and it's not a work hour, then it can wait till the next day. If it's an emergency, depending on, I would respond to it. But if it's not an emergency, nobody's going to die, nobody's going to, then it can wait till the next day, especially when it is not a pending task from my end. Those are boundaries and I've been able to set, right? So what are other measures or boundaries do you think that employees can actually set in creating, that work life, being able to manage their work life and then being able to manage properly on their personal homes?
Thank you. So when you raised that question, the first thing that was in my mind is that somebody calling you at 12:01 on its own is lack of boundaries. But I've been there before, because I think I've worked a job like that, where um my role was was in between. There were a lot of gray lines about my job, and they can send you mails as late as 12 a.m. in the morning, or 12 p.m. at night, and expect you to respond at 12:01, like you said, because everything seems to be, there's urgency around everything for them.
Yeah.
Um, we need to learn to set boundaries. Boundaries are very, very important. Like right now, I work in healthcare, for example, but one of the things that I do is that I'm not going to leave anything hanging to the point of you interrupting my life or my day with it during the weekend. So there's not going to be any laxness from my end. There's not going to be anything falling from heaven from my end. And then on the quadrants of time management, you see anything that is not important but seems urgent, they are interruptions. They are interruptions. They are not important. So why is it urgent? If it's not important, if um if you don't need it urgently, if it is not sorry, if it's not an important part of what we are doing in the whole grand scheme of things, why is it urgent? Can it be done on Monday? Let everybody see. Can it be done on Tuesday? We'll see tomorrow. So it's very, very important that we set those boundaries. At first, it might seem like you're not a flexible person to people, But the truth is, you being able to ensure that you closed all gap from your end, you've made room for, for them enough to be able to cover those gaps, and yet they were not covered, but they now brought it up at awkward women. You being able to say, no, I don't work like that. When you say that consistently for a period of time, they're gonna adjust. That is one thing I can tell you. They're gonna adjust. In this climb, sometimes most organizations actually they pride themselves in the fact that their team members have work-life balance. That work-life balance is very, very important to them. So it's part of the whole wellness package, is part of the whole employee assistance package that they pride themselves. It's like it's always one of the things that they want to show you that they have. So if you're coming from a place that do not have it, it will be an attraction for you. So because of that reason, you will really find such things in this place. They won't encroach into your family time, they won't encroach into your wellness time and all that. But nevertheless, even within work hours, don't let everything seem like urgency, because when they can get through to you that way consistently, then you won't be able to set boundaries with ease. And when it comes to family, family always comes first. No matter what is going on, no matter the heaven that is falling, if no matter who is visiting or who is showing up in my office space, family comes first. It's not a conversation I want to bargain. It's not a conversation I want to bargain. I'm not bargaining that with anybody. I'm not gonna be having conversations about that on why I choose. There is no explanation. There is no um I'm not giving you any explanation. That is just what it is. There is no okay, I'll work on it, but no, there is no but. There is no furthermore, nothing. Family, it is family. That is all. It's a full stop. Do it. Put the boundaries. It's a full stop.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Oladayo. Thank you so much. I believe it's been an amazing time. Please, if you have any question you would like to ask her while we round up on our end here, please you can drop it in the comment section, and would love to respond to your question. And then on my end, I would like to ask, what advice would you actually give? I know you've said, like, everything we've said, I'd actually captured it, but then I just want to be specific about young professionals coming into the professional body, coming into the corporate world. What advice would you give them? And then they are starting a family, because for me it was a lot, because at that time I've not even found my career path. I don't even know. I'm just looking. We're just, most of us at the early stage of our career, we start by we are looking for a job. And then when you get the job, most of us is what you now find yourself, maybe your first set of jobs, and then you now start creating a niche around it, and then all of that. Aside the fact that, yes, for children of God or for Christians, we have, visions, we have directions from God and all of that. But then until you get the job, and at the same time you're planning your life with the way, our lives are structured basically here in, there are some certain timetable that we have. Oh, after school, after so achieving this, you go into life, and then you're having the career, and then you're managing both. So what advice would you give to young professionals that are starting career together at the same time?
I would
I
say
mean,
run
starting
your
up their
race.
family rather.
No problem. I would say run your race. There is no one that gets into another person's lane that wins the race. It's your race, it's your journey, it's your career, it's your decision, it's your marriage, everything. It's your family. So it's yours. Own it and run it the way you would want it to be done. It's like you mentioned, all these things at the end of the day, as a Christian, for me particularly, there is time for everything. So you knowing fully well that, oh, this is the time for this is the time for that, and taking action at those times is very, very important. Run your race with the help of God. Don't 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 try to compare your journey with another person, because you might be on the first page of yours and they are on the last chapter. So you don't want to be comparing your race with another person. If you believe that it is time for you to settle down, and who says you cannot do both at the same time? Who says you can't be thriving in your career and also thriving in your home? Who says you cannot do both? You can do both. One of the seasons I will never forget in my life is when I decided to be juggling my job and my entrepreneurial aspect together. There was a day I remember in 2016 that I got a job, a baking job, and my work was very stressful enough that nobody would have thought about it that I will take up that job, that baking job, that cake job. But I took it, and as I was working on that cake that evening, I somewhere in my body, in my mind, I was so tired in my mind. Like I don't know how many people experience that. I was mentally tired. I was packed out. And while I was doing the work, I don't know what happened. I just felt like maybe I was crying, or I was telling God that I am very tired. I was saying it out loud that, God, I am very tired. I am very, very tired. And I heard it sounding in my spirit. Is that the next thing you want to say, that you are tired, or you want to ask me for capacity? And immediately I changed what I was saying. I said, God, I need capacity. God, I need capacity. Capacity to do both. Capacity to do all. I need capacity. And I kept saying that consistently till I finished that cake job at midnight. And the next day, I was at work at 6 a.m. like nothing happened. So it's about you knowing yourself. I said it earlier, know yourself, understand your journey, understand your patterns. Whatever states you are in, try to understand what you need to do at that moment and ask for help as much as possible. If you need hand holding, look for mentors in that field that you want to go into. Look for mentors. Let people we I have marital mentors, I have career mentors, I have personal mentors. Like anybody that is doing great in the space I'm going into, I let them mentor me. I want to know how you're doing well, how you've done so well in this space so far. So there is nothing wrong in asking for help. Let somebody shadow somebody till you get it right. Don't rush ahead of yourself. Don't try to jump into everything or juggle everything, especially when you do not have capacity. Build capacity, learn. I say to people, you learn, then you earn. There's a stage of learning and there's a stage of earning. When you learn enough, you can take out the L, you start earning, you know. So it's very important. If you think you do not have capacity in something and you desire it, get capacity, gain capacity in that field so that you can get to where you want to be.
Thank you so much, Ma. I was just trying to say I love that that last part. There's a stage for learning and there is a stage for earning. Most of the times we enter into career basically because of the paycheck. And of course, bills have to be paid everywhere. We all have projections for our life. There's nothing you want to do that you don't need money for, right? But then, as much as we want to have that mindset that it's time for us to start making money, it is important that for me, what I always try for is that I get better at what I am doing, because I cannot keep serving based off on, cross that I am carrying from, whatever level. We have to keep improving of ourselves and improving on ourselves and all that. So it's very important as young professionals we keep ourselves updated per time, acquire skills. Recently I was having conversations with HR colleagues, and I'm like, there are some, softwares that if you are not so used to it now, if you don't know it about HR has gone beyond just, typing documents and, using Excel, using working based off on Microsoft. HR has gone beyond working on Microsoft. Before, what HR used to do is just, documentations, and the worst you need to know is just know Microsoft, just know how to use Word and Excel. But if you don't keep yourself updated now, you are going to be see yourself, just thrown out, and you are unable to now identify if you are an HR or maybe you are an office assistant. So you must be able to keep up, updating yourself part time, and it never stops. That's one thing about every profession we find ourselves. The world has gone AI, like everything keeps AI is coming to sweep people away. But once you know your A game, there's nothing AI can take away from you, because we cannot take away, of course, the human factor from everything that we do. So I'm not even in that space where you feel like, AI is we easily take my job. It's not possible, because the human factor is definitely needed in, what I do. So like Mrs. Omo or Mrs. Moladayo said, there's a stage for learning and there's a stage for earning. and and part time, that support system, very very important to me too. I thrive on it, I bank on it a lot of times. Families, friends, have communities. It is very important how to manage that. You can create that balance, and that balance doesn't necessarily mean, I used to say, that balance doesn't necessarily mean that everything is, at par. Where you need to be, stable, you are stable at that time. You can't necessarily want to be stable at everything at the same time. So the time you need for family, you are able to give it. The time that your job needs, you are able to give it. So it's not like, oh, you are now falling off, you are dropping the balls every now and then. No, you can create the balance. There are times that balls will be dropped on your family end. And of course, I'm hopeful that you are able to marry kind partners and all of that, and it will not even show forth. And then you have a good job, you're able to manage and, create balance, create, so many structures. And like I said, once you are able to get better on your job, you cannot keep doing something over time, and you would keep making mistakes. You become a master at something that you keep doing over time. So what it takes you to do at your early years of getting into the job, now if I'm to do payrolling and all of that, unlike when I was, young, I might spend a whole week doing payrolling. But now in the next 2 3 hours, I'm done doing payrolling. So that's because, you get better part time and all of that on your job. So yes, so that's, I think that's will be my wrap up on my hand. And Ms. Olala, do you still have anything you like to share with us before we call it an evening here?
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the privilege to share. And I believe that at least if we do not get everything, we would have picked up one thing or the other in this session. It's very important. I love to inform people that you need to upskill. No matter what you're doing, even as a parent, you need to upskill. There are things that you think you know. There are things that some people will know much more. You need to upskill in your career, upskill as a parent, upskill as an individual, and also know your season. Don't miss out on your timing. Like there are times that you are supposed to do something. If you don't do it at that moment, someone else will get it done. That is how it works in the ecosystem. Someone else is going to get it done. So when just know your timing and run your own race. I really hope that at the end of it all, you will have rest, that you've done your part, you've done your bit, you're successful at everything that you do. Like we mentioned, success is not necessarily means that everything is perfect, but there is consistency, there is resilience attached to it, and you have the right attitude. Thank you so much for your time.
Okay, I think the network. All right. Thank you so much, Ma. God bless you. I really appreciate your time. Thank you, everyone, for joining in on this webinar this evening. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much, Ma, for coming in. I hope you have the few more hours before the end of the day to get some rest. And I would love to do this more again with you some other time. God bless you and have a good evening, Ma.
Thank you. Have a wonderful time. Bye.
Yes, bye. I thank you everyone for joining. I hope you have been able to pick one or two things from tonight's webinar until I come your way again next time. And please subscribe to the channel, share with friends and family who can come back, to watch. It's going to be on the channel. God bless you. Have a good evening. Bye.